Morning, tubers. Wow, what a morning, eh? What an absolute beautiful morning for riding a bike. Are they going? Cool. Half 7:20 to 8 in the morning, and look at it. Oh my god. Only, I can tell you, only the most dedicated riders will go out in this. You're looking at one here, different biker. I think we need to go and get some go-go juice. Watch it here, really slippy on days like this. Right, so we'll stick in neutral, knock her off, put her on a centre stand. We'll go through the realms of fueling up a Honda NC750. Ignition off, key to the left, up with that. It's saying I've got some pennies that I can put fuel in my bike with. So if you look down there, I think I said it many times, there's the actual spout where you go in, and then there's a metal piece below it. You see from there, make sure you're underneath that, because that's the overspill. So if you go on the top, it'll just go out the back, it'll overflow out here and down onto the floor. So what are we on, 152 a litre? We're on the flashing light, £16. Let's get as much in it as we can. There we go. Absolute wonderful with a £17.16. There we go. Let's just drop her back on the side stand, then I can get on her. Put her back on. Let's look at it's like I say, just, you know, it's like in the wet, just relax, just, that's the vans, and there we go, off we go to work. Sorry about the camera, it'll get very wet today, because it is very wet outside. GoPro haven't figured out how to make waterless lenses so that the water comes off. Yeah, I thought it'd be busy. Suzuki, it's like the 650. Another dedicated rider. That's the only thing, I have got a pin lock in this, so my screen just steams up like you can't believe. Well, how many of you want to ride to work on a glorious day like this? Is that van from the right? And the other side, you've really got to watch on days like this, especially where we're going now over this Grange. There's lots of wagons go across this Grange, so they drop diesel, and you get a lot of spillage down there. And I mean, that's a couple of minutes now, bone dry these. This suit I'm really impressed with, to be honest. It does very well considering. And like I say, it's not cold. Today isn't cold at all. And it's this fine rain that's coming down on you now. It really, really is wonderful stuff. But it hardens you for your tours. So my birthday's coming up next month. Anyone wants to send me a present, you're more than welcome. No. And my missus was saying, what do I want? So I think what I'm going to ask for a contribution towards, I think I'm going to go and do the Honda Day, the off-road, a bit more enduro. I've done it once. I've got one channel where I took my nephew, and really enjoyed it. Really did enjoy it. And it's their bikes, their gear, but. And I still wouldn't have made my mind up by then. But I'm going for to test ride a Royal Enfield Himalayan on the 4th of November in the morning. So Colin, the manager of Into Motors, very kindly said, listen, come down and ride it. He says we've got a really good special offer on our bikes at the moment, because there's something going on with the distribution from Into Moto. They've been the distributors of Royal Enfield for 13 years plus, and they said something's changing on it, but he says it's changing, but it's not. He says they're still going to be the distributors. So so it's really a case of they've dropped the price of brand new Royal Enfields. They've dropped the price of Royal Enfields. So a brand new Himalayan is $3,999 as long as they last. So for that price, it's a grand. It's a grand under what they were. It's basically the original price, isn't it? What they come out in about 2016. Now I've always been on the fence, but like I was talking to him, the idea of my KLE was to do a bit of enduro and a bit of off-road. And even on my KLE, it's an old bike, so it's not ULEZ compliant. So I want to go anywhere. It's going to cost you a fortune to go on it. And for the price, my view on it, the price of a bike like that, which is what I want the NC to do, really. It's a sad thing. I want the NC to do the off-road. I want it to do that bit, but it can't. You know what I mean? It's not designed to do that. This model is too low. The frame is built for doing off-road. So that's the purpose where I think what I'm going to end up doing is getting that as my second bike, which I can go and do a few green lanes on and see what it's like. I don't know. It's like one of them. I don't know until I get on it and ride it. Because it's like lots of people say, its top speed is 65 mile an hour. Now, I don't care about speed, but you will do if I want to go and do a green lane in the Lake District, and my maximum speed is 65 mile an hour. Because for me, it's an hour and a half ride to the Lake District. And that'll be, you know, thrashing the bike all the way down there. No one wants to have a bike. But then you've got that where the bike isn't so expensive that if you drop it or anything that you do to it, one, you can fix it. That sort of bike I could fix myself, because they're just a basic bike. They're going back to the days when I rode bikes, when I was a kid. It'd be like eating candy to me, just fixing that. There's not loads and loads of electrics or gadgets on it. I think the only thing that's on there is they've got a sat nav on it that's built on, which, you know, even the sat nav on this, I tend to just, I'm listening to it more than watching it. Give me your thoughts on it, tell us what you think. But NC Moto in Warrington, they've got a real good deal on. They've got a real good deal for all the Royal Enfields at the moment. And what's interesting, they're going to be a Vogue dealer, which is Chinese bikes. And I got a couple of years ago on, I think it was the Exeter Rider rode one of these Vogues, and they look really, you know, the Chinese, but at the end of the day, the engines in them won't be Chinese. It'll be Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, whatever they are, but with a brand on it. So that's my thought on the what I'm going to do there. I'm going to have a ride of it, see if I like it. And people who watch me know I'll be dead blunt. If I don't like it, I'll say I don't like it. I'm not going to say it is. I'll never say about any bike that I wouldn't buy one, because you have to ride it yourself. I may get on that bike and absolutely love it. You know, someone else will get on it and absolutely hate it. That's what it's like. It's the same with cars, same with everything. We have this conversation all the time. You've got, the only way you ever find out if you're going to like something or you want it, if you can afford it, is to go and ride it. I mean, I was looking, when he said to me that the 3999, and I was looking thinking, well, I can go and get a second-hand one. And I was looking at 2020 plates with 14,000 miles on, and the 28, 2,800 quid. That have got no warranty. So with Royal, I mean, I don't know how good the warranty is on Royal Enfield, what they cover, but the 3-year warranty on it. So you've got that as well. Servicing, what I could see of it, is quite expensive, but again, I'll only have the first service done by them, and I'll do all my own servicing after that. I don't know why I even do that, to be honest, because when you service a bike, as long as you use OEM parts and you keep proof that you've used OEM parts, your receipts, that covers the warranty. You don't actually have to have it done. I think that's something I've just always done. I've always had the first service done. And I think it's about 180 quid, something in that region for it, which is a lot of money to some people. You know, it's not chicken feed to me, but it's not extortionate amounts for your first service for me. Bit of work when you are filtering in this sort of weather, so really drop your speeds if you're going to do it. If you know, some respects I would probably say be very, very careful in this. Just trinkle through. I mean, it's moving, I don't mind it when it's like this, we can keep on going. And it's like I say, I do love them lights on there now. Them lights have made such a difference to this bike. How you're seen, And there is, that's so, I'm actually bone dry, believe it or not, people. And I do a little thing on my, it's like my gloves. These gloves are, I think they're 10 years old, 11 years old. And I wash them in that, the waterproof compound that you can put in, and I put them in a bucket of water. I don't put them in the washing machine. And I let them air dry. I never ever put them in the washing machine. I never put them in a dryer either. So I do me lukewarm water and I hand clean them. But I spray silicone on them, on the ends. And really what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some dubbing. Because where you find on your gloves, no matter what they are, especially like leather ones, they'll leak through the stitching. So if you get dubbing for them, or like I use silicone. Silicone's really good. It does seem to, it's like bone dry. You seen them gloves the other day? I rinsed them out. I actually squeezed them inside the bone dry. They are, honestly, and you know, anyone that's ever out with me and they want to put their hand inside my glove when it's been raining like this, you're welcome to. The bone dry. The wettest they become is when you actually pull your hand out and your hand's wet, and then you put it back in. I do like this as well, because when you're on a bike and when you've got your GoPro going, you also get to know. You see companies like Northwest Electric Gates, you know what I mean? So you see companies that there may be something there that you need recruiting now. This is a proper slow one today. Thank you. Yeah, when it's I don't like pin locks. This helmet is pin lock ready, so it's got a pin lock for it, but I just don't like them, because you still know, don't matter how good they are. I've got a carbon helmet that I bought, which I spent a fortune on, and I've wore it once or twice. I've wore it, and that come with 2 pin locks, so it come with like the fandangled one that's reflective and dark and what have you, and it come with a clear one. But they still get shit underneath them, you know what I mean? They're just, and certain ones, when you push them too, in this helmet it doesn't, because the helmet it protrudes, so that the actual visor's well away from your nose. But on like that one, it pushes down and the pin lock touches the top of my nose, because I've got a big Roman nose. Hope you're loving this journey in. It's great, isn't it? See, it always looks worse than what it is, a bit of rain, doesn't it? I said on one of my videos many years ago, and it was on a bike I was actually knocked off. It was when I got divorced when I was 30 or 31, and I'd had bikes but cheaper ones, and when I bought my ex-partner out of the house that I was in, so she took half the money, I paid the mortgage off forevermore. But I bought out, but then I decided, right, sod it, I'm on my own, I'm not going to bother with anyone, I'm just going to live my life. And I did it for about 7 years, I think I stayed single for 7 years, and I've done some of the best things I've ever done in my life. That's how selfish I am. Went sailing, motorcycling, done whatever I wanted to do. I accrued loads of debt, but enjoyed every penny of it, you know what I mean? And I paid it all back. You know, not one of these that get the debt and don't pay it back. I paid it back. Someone's kind enough to give me money, I pay it back. But Yeah, so I bought a brand new Kawasaki GPZS. And it was in black and purple. I bought it from Tommy Robinson's. So Rob, who's now the manager of Wigan Yamaha, will remember because he was there with me. He was, I don't know what Rob did actually then. I think he was, whether he was sales. I think he was sales. So we're both very young then. And I'd had it about now this is a little story for you. I'll tell you on this GPZ. So I bought it in my first service, went in after I think it was 500 miles or 400 miles on that GPZ, back into Tommy Robinson's to check it over, oil and the rest of it. So I had it done and I took it straight out from Tommy Rob's, and I thought, it was in the November, I thought I'll go and see the lights at Blackpool on the bike. And I got halfway down the motorway and my bike started, literally the back end like speedway, started sliding. And I'm like, what the friggin' hell's going on here? And when I actually pulled over and my little torch and thing, and I looked and the sump plug had come out. So whoever had serviced it hadn't tightened up the sump plug properly, or it worked loose. You know, that's what happened. See, that ain't that good? That wagon's just moved across for me. What a top guy. And the other thing is, it teaches you balance, this, by the way. So anyway, getting on to my little story with the GPZ, that got fixed anyway. It went back in. I had a right to do with Tommy himself. Weren't happy at all. But he was always top. He was top, absolutely fantastic little shop. Used to be on Manchester Road. And anyway, all resolved. It was all fine. Off I went. And I think about 2 months later, I was driving buses then. I was doing, I worked nights on the buses, so I worked from 3 o'clock, from 3 o'clock to, well, about 10 to 4 I started. And I worked till 12:30. But I'd done college in the day, where I studied for my HNC for my IT. I'd done a little course, a SciTech course was one of the courses I'd done, which was my first one, was a level 3 MVQ, network design, many years ago, in the days of Nobel, people remember that. So anyway, on this occasion, I'd gone into work, and I always got in about an hour early, and I thought, I forgot my butters. So I had full leathers in them days. I used to wear leathers all the time. There was none of this nonsense with Kevlar, because it didn't exist. Kevlar didn't exist when I had them. So most of your gear was leathers or jeans. You know, the market for goods and what we buy now has been properly populated with media coverage and with promotions of how good and how bad it is, and that's it. But it was a set of leathers. I used to have Frank Thomas boots, which I swore by. And I'd forgot my butters, and I thought, right, I've got time, I'll just fly home, because I was home like 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away from home, from the depot. Got on my bike, and I thought, can't be arsed putting my leather pants on, because I've got my leather jacket, my helmet, that. I said, boss, I'm just going to fly up and get my butters. And going down Hildon Road, car just pulled straight out of the place is there's a chippy there. I forgot the name of it now. Generics. There's a chippy called Generics, and anyone that knows it'll know that there's a great big wall around it. This car just pulled out. Didn't even stop. Anything coming, cars coming from the right would have been took out. He'd have just took them straight out. He just flew straight out because you couldn't see past the wall when you went out. Straight out, and I was coming on the opposite side of the road. I hit his back wheel. He had a big 500 SEL Mercedes, and it was the director or the owner of a rental company, like Martin Dawes, I think it was, and he got done. He got done for reckless driving. That took me out of riding and out of work for 14 months. The main thing that happened, I snapped my kneecap in half. God knows. I always think, how did I snap my kneecap? And the GPZ had a very sharp reservoir on the top there. If you look at the reservoir on that now, it's rounded. They were square and sharp, and that's the only place that I could think, because I didn't land on my knees. I landed on the back of my shoulders. And I snapped my leg, so I've done quite a bit of damage, to be honest. And I always remember when I went off and my bike went down, I was more getting up, I couldn't get up to get my bike. I was more concerned about my bike. And that bike I bought back as salvage, and I rebuilt, and I rode it for another, I think, 6 months, and then sold it. And I ended up after that buying a brand new Thundercat from a Yorkshire dealer. So it never put me off. And in honestly, it's like I weren't going fast, 35, 40 mile an hour max. In fact, I don't even think I was doing that. I weren't going fast. And that's biking for you. You know, that's what biking is. We all have accidents, we all have things. And it's like this is very, very risky. But you've seen me riding on my bike, you've seen the way I ride when I filter, when it's in the dry. Just, you know, just slow down. Just take your time. You'll get there. Some people will move across for you, some people won't. So if they won't move across, just sit behind and wait. And I did actually like the video I've done on the filtering with the lower camera. I did like that actually. I may just do another one for you, but I'll do front and back. The cameras that I've put on this, and they're upside down. I mean, I can change it in the editing software, but I don't get it. So you've got to, well, maybe I haven't read the instructions properly, have I? So I'll have to look at how I can spin them round. And they're all right. They'll do for, you know, if you have an accident, they'll do for that. They won't ever do for footage. Well, I'm well late today. I'm not going to get in here until at least 8:30. So you can see now, you imagine people, if I was in my car, how long it would take. I mean, it's like you can see in the bike now. We're into probably nearly 40 minutes, aren't we now? And it's like, I quite enjoy it though. I do love the bike. And it said, say to anyone, you don't have to have an NC, you don't have, you know, a little 125, because it was half and half. I was thinking, if petrol keeps on going up the way it's going, this is good on fuel, but I'm going to get myself a CG or CB 125. I'm going to get 200 plus a gallon, because this is the speed I'll be doing anyway. I won't be going at any sort of redneck speeds. I mean, even going home, when I'm going home, it's 75. But that's what we were starting off with the beginning of the story with the Himalayan. Uh, if I buy one of them, I think the top speed is 65 on it, and you can't get enough speeding on the motorway, which is a great thing, isn't it? Uh, but when you're doing really long journeys, I suppose like anything, you sometimes need to put the hammer down sometimes, don't you? You need to get to the ferry, you need to get to a place on time. And if your bike isn't capable of that, because it's not capable of motorway speeds, then you've got to say, is it fit for purpose? And that's the side that's, you know, that's in the back of my mind. Because I had it with the BMW, the big GS. The bike was a lovely bike, but it was too agricultural for me. It was too clinky and knocky. Even though that had a lot of torque on it, it just wasn't my cup of tea. And I know that I've never ridden the new ones, so I don't know what the new ones are like. And to be fair, I did like that 850 GS. I really did like that. That, when you put that in dynamic, was an absolute beautiful bike. And you know, in fairness, the Transalp would be a yes for me. The GS 850 would be a yes for me. Even the GS with the it was high. It was a tall bike, but it's like I say, you can get seat adjustments, or you'd get used to it. You know, that's the truth of it. Any bike you get used to. Just because both feet don't fit the floor doesn't mean you can't ride the bike. You know, I've seen people where literally the legs are hanging off the side. They've got half a leg over it and they're still riding it. You can. And the hard thing, by the way, about when you're filtering in this and your screen's absolutely capped with rain, because that's what this is also, unless you've got very young guys, the rain sometimes blurs some of the images. I say it's the good thing about it is it really does teach you good balance. And cover your back brake, you know, drop a foot down when you're going this slow, keep a foot down at the bottom so that without goods on, you can just lean on that foot. Keep it inside. It's just having confidence and taking your time. So it's like this Discovery now. There's a gap there. Can you see the gap there? So that's what I've got. That gives me a lot more space on my bike to get through. If you think it's too tight, it's too tight, so don't do it. And there's a prime example there of that Citroen pulling out. And I'd normally, if I weren't up so close, I'd have just eased back and let him out. I know that absolutely rags off the cars behind. But, you know, be courteous. Just because some people are not courteous to you, don't mean you have to be the same to them. Don't take yourself to their level. Cheers, mate. And I was talking to my nephew yesterday, and we were talking about the point system. And you know, he's right at the end of the day. That needs changing. Because you go to Germany or places like that, you're fined for speeding. They don't have a point system. The people in this country now have got to a stage where putting points on puts your insurance. It's a proper scam. I totally agree. I think what should happen is, if you're caught speeding, you get fined. If you're caught speeding again, the fine doubles. That, you know, that would do more good, and that would probably cause more people to actually slow down. And even if you're rich, it'd cause you to slow down, because each time it'd double, you'd be learning your lesson. What they're doing, it's like now what they're doing in Wales. He was saying the company he works for, they deliver alcohol to all the pubs and drinks, and they deliver drinks to hospitals as well. So these companies don't just deliver alcohol, they deliver drinks to all sorts of hotels and what have you. He said they've stopped in Wales. They've pulled every contract in Wales, don't do it anymore. I'm not going to name the company, but he said there's quite a number of them that are doing it. Because the idiot that's done that, and the people that think they're being great by dropping the speed limit, HGV drivers, and I know as a coach driver, you run on what you call a tachograph, so you run by a driving directive. So your driving directive is you're only allowed so many hours driving per day. So if you've now just reduced the speed that much that they can't meet their driving directives and their days increase, you think going 30 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour over 200 miles, you think about what that is in time. And that's what that idiot has done. And I really hope it gets traversed, it gets turned around, because he should be just removed. And not just him, the people that have voted that in, every single one on that panel should be sacked. They are just not fit to be in Parliament, them sort of people, or running the country. And it's the other side. It's like myself now. I won't ride in Wales now. I'm not going to take the chance of going down to Wales and you know what the Welsh police are like anyway for speeding. I mean, generally when you go in Wales, you don't speed because you know that there's an unmarked police car somewhere ready to take money off you. That is what they love doing. It's their favourite pastime because they've screwed up their own economy. So we've had a good whinge, haven't we, today on the way in. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, this is a real Bertrand biker. Talks in a helmet to himself and hopes people listen. And I really do appreciate, I know people, I'm absolutely astounded how many people, you know, even for as long as they jump in and browse whether they like or dislike. Because I don't mind if you've got dislikes in there. I'd rather, you know. The only way people can learn in this life that you're doing well or you're doing badly is by people being honest with you. You know, by saying, right, I don't like that, you're doing that wrong. And you can either have the argument or you can go, hang on, they're right. That isn't right, that isn't good. But I was looking, I've only got I think over 700 subscribers now. And I do try to answer every message. I really do. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the banter. Sometimes there's quite a few people that are regular that I banter with. I really do enjoy it. There we go, we'll walk through there. Oh, this is, do you know, I should really just dive down that way. My glasses are actually thinking up as well now. So I wear glasses for driving, for riding, and even the windscreen wipers are not working on them. think we're just going to need to go down the centre to get through here today. This is do you know, that's the thing about professional drivers. That's how you see them. They can actually see you. And you can see now, even for me, I can see here now, I am not going anywhere even in there. So I'm just going to pull right into the left here. And I'm late, you know what I mean? And this is it. People, when they become late, they end up trying to hammer it. It's just not worth it. On a bike, it's definitely not worth it. It's your life, you know. And it's not only that, riding a bit more safely, you won't fall off, you won't cause massive traffic jams for people scraping you up off the floor. So, bit of patience.